I'm a magician. I'm always making moves. That's what I do. You just don't always see me. This and more on Drop Your Buffs, a podcast discussing Australian Survivor. On this podcast, we'll be discussing Australian Survivor that aired on Sunday, the 9th of October. So if you haven't seen this episode yet and don't want to be spoiled, grab your things and head back to camp. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast if you haven't already. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Just go to dropyourbuffs.com for more details. My name is Stuart, and with me, as usual, is my Survivor partner in crime, Craig.
G'day, Stu.
How's it going?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good too. How'd you find this episode?
A bit slow, I thought.
It was just a bit predictable. I think the whole time as the gears are going round and around, it's just we knew where it was leading.
I mean, as you know, for about the last 100 years, I've been waiting for someone to do something instead of just continuing to go on with this alliance that is, at some point, has to disintegrate into oblivion. And yet another episode where that didn't happen.
If I hear someone say "big move"
Big move
again
and
and nothing happens, I'm gonna
big move. It's time to make a big move, but it's time to.
maybe next week we'll make that.
Maybe
big
next
move,
week we'll do
yes.
the big move. Exactly right. Exactly right.
Well, the episode starts with
Back at camp.
Sayonara Sui making JL the last of a vow.
Yeah, she's done well, hasn't she, to get that far?
Yeah, she's been a bit like Phoebe in a way, and that she's just been hanging on for a long time with not much hope, really, to be honest.
And the common thread between the two of them is they're both quite open, quite willing at tribal council to say, "Hey, this is how it is, guys. Have a think, have a look at what's going on. Why are you doing this? There's opportunities here. Why don't you just play them?" So they both did it, and
it's their only.
It's the only shot they've got in the locker. That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
But it's good to see them doing it, and it's continued to pay off.
Yeah, yeah.
Even if it's not quite getting the result that they're intending.
That's right. Yeah, well, Lee was saying that he's been having to face some tricky decisions.
Yeah.
And having to have a talk to Christy about why he had to vote for her in the previous.
Yeah, well, that was
episode. But
nice of him to do that, wasn't it?
it just seems like from everything that people say, everyone seems to respect and like Lee, don't they? So
yeah, he just seems like a really likable, knockabout kind of guy.
Yeah.
So but he said in doing so, it's getting tougher. We're down to 8 now, and it's getting a lot tougher to make some of these calls and make these decisions, and people's feelings starting to get hurt.
Exactly.
As things happen. So I thought it was nice the way he had a chat with her, and she seemed to take it pretty well.
But one thing I learned in this episode.
Well, what's that, Stu?
About sea urchins.
They're sharp.
No, they're big and they're prickly.
Big and they're prickly.
That's right.
Yes, well, Sam had told us that.
Yeah.
He was. What were they doing? Where were they heading on that little expedition?
I don't know. They were just Actually, I'm not sure.
Out for a stroll. They were all there. It was almost like they'd been, marshalled together by the producers and told to go for a walk through the lagoon or something. I didn't quite understand what that was all about.
Yeah, they weren't actually doing any fishing, were they?
I think they were just going for a walk.
Well, it was just a bit of general talk by everyone about how long the alliance is going to last towards the end, and I guess that's the $1 million question at the moment, isn't it? As to how long can they keep this alliance going for? Because it's pretty unheard of to have such a tight alliance go for so long.
Yeah, I mean, what are we down to? We're down to 8, and there aren't many non-aligned members left. So at some point, they're going to have to start making some big moves, Stu. Big moves.
Well, they're talking about Lee and Elle being massive jury threats on the basis that they are both so likable and that they would get lots of jury votes at the end if they were to make it to the final too.
Yeah, look, I think that's right.
And so because of that, Brooke is obviously thinking of her ideal top 4 is herself, Flick, Matt and Sam. So she doesn't want Lee and Elle in there.
No, doesn't want them there. Doesn't want them there at all. I thought it was an interesting little bit of file footage. They're throwing all these filler bits of Samoa footage in at one stage fairly early on in that episode. Did you see the snake that crawled through the grass?
No, I didn't.
That?
Look, every episode there's definitely a snake, and there might be one next episode.
Well,
too.
who knows? But Jenna Louise had just finished talking about how the tribe's going to have to turn on each other, and there's paranoia, and people are freaking out, and the next thing is snakes crawling through the grass. Well, what do they do? Slither?
Slither, that's right.
Slither through the grass. I thought, that's pretty awesome. I wonder if that was deliberate.
Well, Flick also starts talking about, well, she says to the camera, she has a feeling that this could be the biggest move ever in Survivor history coming up.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that pans out.
Oh.
I don't know, I was a bit, when she said that, I thought,
There's been some
you know.
pretty big moves over the years. That's a big call.
I know. I mean, just judging on just my feeling as to what she might be thinking about, I don't think it would make my top 10, put it that way.
No.
No. So,
I mean, there's been tribal councils I've seen in the past where I've been reeling by the end of it, just going, "Oh my god, what just happened?"
well, then we have the immunity challenge, and this was the one that had the balance course and the memory puzzle that they had to put together.
Yeah, and you know what I liked about this one? They had to go over a seesaw, which is obviously an Australian term for that device because you know what Jeff calls them in the American show, don't you?
It's something like
It's a teeter-totter.
That's right.
A teeter-totter.
A teeter-totter.
And I actually noticed, the seesaw. I'm just going, he said seesaw, not teeter-totter.
He said seesaw,
He
did
said seesaw, not teeter-totter.
Ah, very good. Well, if we have any US listeners out there, we've just hopefully we've cleared up that little thing.
Apologies for my bad
seesaw.
American accent too, as I explained that. But yes, it was a seesaw in Australia, not a teeter-totter.
Well, Lee's the first one back with his blocks to have to start solving the puzzle, but we had so many attempts at this puzzle. I think we've had more attempts than I've ever seen at any
Yeah, people
sort
just
of
kept getting it wrong, didn't they?
puzzle challenge. Was because we had.
I think a few of them actually got it pretty close, but they must have had the block upside down or something like that. Because I think, from what I could see, they were getting it in the right order, but I just think their block was around the wrong way.
I wasn't sure whether the blocks had to be exactly the right way because that would make it twice as hard. You'd think.
Yeah, look, I don't know, but there are a few I don't see what's wrong with that because I had the benefit of writing down the combination, but
I see.
but they look pretty right to me. So I think they must have been quite strict on which way the blocks were.
Well, we had attempts by Christy, JL again, Brooke, Christy again,
Yeah.
Sam, and Brooke again, the second time, and she finally won it that
She
time.
finally won it. Yeah, she did. Got there in the end. Nice little challenge.
Yeah, no, it was good. It just seemed to be a bit of a shame that the person that won immunity was the person that probably least needed it.
Yeah.
And so that didn't help the overall arc of that episode being all that interesting because it was, it was a bit of a non-event.
Yeah, exactly. She wasn't someone who was on the block who really, really needed it.
No, if it was JL, that would have made it very interesting, of course.
Oh,
but,
absolutely.
but,
yeah. That would have thrown. Well, that would have brought on the alliance disintegration we've all been waiting for.
Yeah, and that would have been 3 times in a row for JL, wouldn't it? If she had won.
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah.
Which is a pretty.
And as it is, I think this is Brooks' second.
I think it's Brooks. Yeah, I think it is Brooks' second. Well, that takes us to the tribal council, and JL's getting very fired up, of course, because she knows that it's pretty certain that she'll be going home. She starts talking about, or she starts getting fired up about the money, and she's imploring people to think this through to the end because, because you keep saying that there's a $500,000 prize here, everyone.
Yeah, think about it. She said, "I just don't understand what's happening here. It makes no sense. No one seems to know where anyone sits. I keep telling you, Matt. Matt, particularly as someone she's tried to warn and say, hey, your position in the game is not what you think it is. Think of the money. Think of the money."
That's
and then
right.
Lee said, well, I'm actually going to take more out of this than just the money. That's not what it's about for me. And she said, well, you can give me the money. That's a good strategy too.
Yeah, well, I mean, he seemed, I don't know, he seemed very, very relaxed about it, didn't he? But I don't know. I mean, that's what the whole thing's about, really, though, isn't it? It's that final prize.
Well,
but
yeah, that's what they're there for.
I don't know. Maybe he's sort of viewing this more as a springboard for other things in his career. So
maybe.
And so maybe the prize money isn't the biggest thing for him.
Yeah, and of course, Lee having been a professional cricketer, he played in the IPL in India. He might have done all right financially out of that. We don't know, but
So JL has been basically saying that she thinks Matt and Flick are on the outer because she's just trying to stir things up as much as possible. But
I don't know about Flick actually being on the outer. Matt definitely, I think, is. But I don't know about Flick. And she herself, I don't think, would feel that she was on the outer.
I don't think so, but certainly not at this point. But towards the the closer we get towards the final two, though, I think you have to say that she would be more likely on the outer than someone else.
Oh, I agree.
But,
I agree. But we're still 8 to go at the moment, so
yeah.
I don't think so. But JL did notice that Flick was quieter around camp and wondered whether that was some sort of indication that Flick was feeling a little bit uncomfortable or insecure in the game.
Mm.
But she certainly said again, Matt is on the bottom of the alliance.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Craig, would you like to take us through the votes then?
Yeah, so another close one. But in the end, it was there were 8 votes cast, and Jenna Louise was going home with 5 votes from Matt, Christy, Flick, Brooke, and Lee to the 3 that Christy received, and she got those from Jenna Louise, Sam, and Elle. Interesting there that Elle and Lee went different ways.
Mm.
They've been voting together a lot, but they went different ways on this occasion. And Sam and Lee went different ways as well. So Sam and Elle were on Christy, but Lee was on Jenna Louise. And, that may have just been the way they decided to split that particular vote. But once again, you've got Flick and Brooke and Christy all voting for the person who's voted off. So that's all 4 members of the jury, as at the end of that episode, have been put there by those 3.
That's right.
And we've talked about that before, the danger of doing that.
That's right. I wonder how that's going to pan out for them in the end.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, JL, you are the last for a vow, but you have nothing more to fear. The driver's spoken. What's wrong with that one, Craig? That was okay.
Oh, a bit corny.
Look, if they make up these absurd tribe names,
I think it's an actual beach in Samoa, isn't it?
no, I thought it meant celebration or something
You are
like
quite
that.
right.
Yes,
We've talked about this. Yeah, the original tribe names are all beaches.
Yes, yeah,
All
yeah,
beaches
exactly.
In Samoa. Yeah, look, she did great, Jenna Louise. I just think I really liked Jenna Louise. She was awesome fun.
Have you caught up with the Jury Villa at all, Craig?
No, I still haven't had time to look at the Jury Villa
on the
videos.
website. I did
What's
go
going on
back
at the Jury?
to, well, firstly I saw Sue's Jury Villa episode, and she lost about 8 kilos.
Really?
Which is quite a lot. And but she had pretty much the same reactions that Nick had with regards to the bed and bathroom and having a dinner and things like that, which you would naturally do after that time. But the Drew Villa episode seemed to be very similar in that way. She was talking about some of her best moments in Survivor that she liked, and she said her best moment was towards the start of the season when she had a puzzle win when she and Andy were working on a puzzle together, and they didn't win that, but they got second, so they didn't have to go to.
Yep, I remember that one.
To tribal. So, but she was saying that she'll find it difficult to give a vote to anyone on Fear, because she really wants someone to be a leader and someone to make some moves. And at the moment, she couldn't see that.
Very, very cool.
And I watched.
Well, for quite some time now, it has been quite clinical with people just being voted off by that strong alliance one by one. And they keep talking about, we're going to make a big move, but they're not actually doing it. And I can totally get what she's saying there.
I mean, it's a great strategy for the people that are in that alliance. It's just boring TV. That's all.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. So I mean, you can't really blame the players. All that you can hope for is that the producers try and put some changes or twists to try and change it up a bit.
Nice one.
And then JL in the Jury Villa as well. She only lost 2 kilos, but I guess
well, okay.
she's a lot smaller to start with anyway.
Yeah.
I guess, but and she also wants to see people make big moves, which is what she said.
Well, she's been trying to make it happen for quite a few episodes now. I mean, she went through a phase there where we didn't actually hear very much from her at all, and I think that the Twitter universe had started to pick up on that.
Exactly.
And we talked about it as well, and then all of a sudden, from nowhere, she really started firing up and trying to do something. I guess it coincided with her, probably feeling a little bit vulnerable. But I really liked the way she played towards the end there. She put it out there. She didn't leave anything out there. I don't think I think she won 2 challenges in a row. Great effort from JL.
Yeah, that's right.
Brilliant.
That's right. Any best moments for this episode?
No, I struggle to find a best moment for this episode. Maybe the snake crawling through the grass. I don't know. It wasn't one of the great episodes, I don't think. It was quite predictable.
I think I liked the first words of the episode when was it Sam? I think it was Sam who said "Sayonara Sui" as they came back into camp. That was pretty funny.
I don't mind a game of chess. There was a bit of talk at Tribal Council about whether it's smart to use a pawn to take out the queen. I know.
Yeah, was that something that JLP was
JLP put
picked
that
up
to
on
Matt.
that, didn't he?
Yeah, he put that to Matt.
All right.
Matt must be a bit of a chess player, I think.
Mm.
So I quite enjoyed that in a nerdy kind of way.
How about some tweets?
Yeah, go for it.
There's some tweets. Well, one I saw, this is from Ryan, hashtag Team Figgy, and he said, anyone but Brooke winning Survivor AU will shock me. She's played the best and is the only likeable option left.
Fair enough.
And I guess that does seem fairly true. Although Elle is pretty likable as well, though, isn't she?
I think there's
You
quite
know,
a few
so-
likable people in there. I think Sam's pretty likable. Lee's pretty likable.
But maybe he's sort of thinking of this core alliance that might get to the final too. It's probably not going to be.
He's obviously valuing the way she's played and the strategy and all that sort of stuff as well.
Yeah, that's right. And certainly she has been a mastermind, hasn't she? I think.
Oh, absolutely in control there, no doubt about it.
Any other Survivor news? I've got something. So
Go for it.
I saw there was an article in the Daily Telegraph that was talking about Brooke, and it was saying fans of Survivor seem to have been taking the show seriously following the Mean Girls alliance.
Oh yes, I saw this.
And Brooke, the leader of the group, told the Daily Telegraph that she's been getting death threats, saying the comments I'm getting are disgusting.
Yeah, see that's too much.
Oh, absolutely,
That's
absolutely.
too
I
much.
mean, there is never any reason for anyone to make death threats over social media. It was just
It's a TV show, honestly.
exactly, and it's absolutely pathetic. And I feel really sorry for those people that are in the spotlight like that, and they get those sort of things.
Because
It's
you go
it's-
on a show like this, and you never expect you're going to have that sort of that sort of reaction. No one deserves.
I mean, this is supposed to be for entertainment, isn't it?
Exactly.
That's all it is. It's just a
Exactly.
bit of entertainment.
I mean, I guess you put yourself on a show like that, and you expect a bit of a reaction because you're in the public eye. But no, that's just out of order.
Exactly. Well, that's all for this episode. Hopefully, we'll have a much more exciting episode next
Hope
week.
so.
And as we get towards the final two, not long to go now. Thanks for joining us tonight, Craig.
Good to be here, Stu. See you next time.
Thanks for listening. See you
Bye-bye.
guys. Bye.